you have focus. It's now 11 o'clock, honorable members. Let me take this opportunity and welcome all of you to today's proceedings. The honorable members who are designated to this ad hoc committee, good morning to all of you. The senior counsel, who is the evidence leader in this proceedings, together with your team, I extend warm greetings to you. Our witness, General Shadrack Sibiya, welcome and good morning to you and your team. The staff of Parliament, members of the media who are here with us. Honorable members, we are going to proceed. I note that we have few apologies. Some of the members have personally contacted me to inform me that they may not be available or they will join us late in the proceedings. We have the following apologies. Honorable Nhlanhla, and is done by 12 o'clock, he should be able to join us. And the following honorable members are going to join us late due to flight delays. Honorable members might have noticed that it has been very difficult to have flights over the weekend. So, Honorable Nomvalo, Honorable Skosana from the MKP, Honorable Mwango from the IFP, and Honorable Mattheys from the EFF will join the proceedings late due to the reason that has been explained. And then we have the apology of Honorable Malema due to prior engagements. He is not going to be able to join us today and tomorrow. And he has promised that he will rejoin the proceedings on Thursday and Friday. May I give Honorable Breitenbach from the DA to make an announcement.
It sounds very dramatic. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, everybody. Chair, it was brought to my attention on Friday that Honourable Schikkerling had laid criminal charges against the Minister some time ago. Having perused the affidavit, it makes it clear that there exists then a conflict. And so we have written to the Speaker this morning to withdraw her and to replace her with Honourable Klopper, who has joined us today. Because he has not been formally HEC'd, he will not participate until he has been. But I ask that he just sit here and listen to the proceedings for today and tomorrow until he's formally part of the committee. And then while I'm busy, Chair, I'd like to place on record that I have known General Sibiya for 20 years. It's a professional relationship. I was a prosecutor, he was a policeman. I bring an objective mind to these proceedings. I have no doubt that I'm not conflicted, but I'm placing on record that I know him and I know him reasonably well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So you say Honorable Schikkerling has laid a charge against a minister. Which minister?
Nkunu.
Okay.
Yeah, but some time ago, it had nothing to do with this committee, but it does give rise to at least a reasonable perception of bias. A reasonable perception of bias as opposed to a perception of bias.
Okay. So where you stand, you feel that there is a reasonable perception of bias?
Yes, Chair, and that is why we have withdrawn her.
Okay. So Honorable Klopper is the one that will be coming in.
Yes, Chair, he's a member of the Justice Portfolio Committee, and
Okay.
he will replace Honourable Schickling. The letter went to the Speaker this morning, so early this morning. So we'll await the reply.
Okay. No, I always restrain myself to say, Honorable Member, can you please rise? So let me just say, raise your hand, so that yeah, I can't make you to rise. You just raise your hand, and South Africans who are following us on television will then know who is Honorable Thorpe. So you are an alternate member in this committee. We welcome you, and we must also inform you that the committee has agreed on the participation of alternate members during the proceedings. They do not have the right to vote in terms of the rules, and sometimes their participation is limited to the discretion of the chairperson. Honorable Breitenbach has used the word reasonable. This is the word that is pervasive in this hall or in this proceeding. So you have a very benevolent chairperson, so you must not be worried. And we are trying by all means to ensure that there is equal treatment of all the alternate delegates that we have here. So we invite you to enjoy the privileges that are being enjoyed by the rest of the members and the alternates. Senior Counsel, before we administer oath on General Sibiya, can I check if you want to say something?
Thank you, Honourable Chair, honourable members. Yeah, just in relation to honourable member and advocate Breitenbach, I did on Friday, when I became aware of the founding affidavit in the application before the Gauteng High Court, deposed to by Brigadier Kuneni, who's the investigating officer for the search and seizure warrants against General Sibiya, Minister Mkhwanazi, and Mr. Kabinde, that two of the complainants in that matter, other than General Mkhwanazi, were actually, one was a full member of this committee, the other an alternate member. I brought this to their attention on Friday. I said I intend raising it with you. And I indicated that I think this constitutes a conflict, given our terms of reference, that we will act fairly, and that it's clearly not fair for someone who has been a complainant in a matter against one of our witnesses to also then sit on this committee, having already arguably prejudged the matter, hence the complaint. In the case of the DA, Honourable Member Breitenbach had indicated to me on Friday already that the alternate member would be withdrawn. She agrees. And the other member, who's not here, unfortunately, but I understand from his party's communique that I've seen over the weekend, I'm not sure whether it's official yet, that he had been withdrawn anyway. I don't know whether it's because of this issue or some other issue, but we can proceed, Chair, on the basis that, none of the two members are present.
Who is that other member?
Honourable Member Kakana.
We don't have that honorable member in this committee.
Skosana, sorry.
Or
Skosana. Sorry,
No,
apologies.
honorable member Skosana.
Yeah, and I had also been in WhatsApp communication with him. Quite a few WhatsApps. He was sitting next to me on Friday.
Okay. No, it's fine. I think the honorable members from MKP have just arrived now towards the conclusion of the matter. Let's not delay the proceedings. I think we will give them a briefing at break so that we do the work of the committee. Chief Whip.
Morning, Chair. Morning to colleagues and morning to the General and his team. I think, Chair, the issues raised by the Senior Counsel are very important.
Yeah.
Now, we have to avoid a situation where I understand why you are saying let's defer the matter to brief the colleagues during lunch. But what happens when the member in question walks in and want to participate? My sense is that you might end up with a very bad situation where you are now disrupting the actual proceedings. And rather than, I would advise you, Chair, because the leadership of the MKP is now here, you give them a briefing of what we're talking about and allow them an opportunity to say something about it. I would suggest that we take it in that way, thanks. So that when we begin, we are uninterrupted. Thanks.
Okay. Do you want to say something, Senior Counsel?
Honorable Chair.
Do you want to say something?
Nothing further except just on housekeeping. There's a bundle of additional documents that has now been made available to us by General Sibiya's legal team. We are aware of these documents. We have discussed them with this team, but the committee would not have had sight of them. We have asked for these documents to be made available ASAP. So hopefully that will not prevent us from proceeding. The honourable members will obviously have them before their opportunity comes to ask questions of the general. The delay in them making these documents available is perfectly understandable. They arise from testimony given by General Mkhwanazi and most recently on Friday by General Masemola. But then our draft statement and their input into that statement was far advanced. So they only had a further opportunity after Friday and over the weekend to review their situation and make these documents available. So in the circumstances, Honourable Chair, I would suggest that we condone, as it were, the late filing of these documents. They are definitely relevant to the issues before the Honourable Committee, and that we should nevertheless proceed. And as soon as the printers have made the other bundles available, the committee members will receive them. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Nomvalo and Honorable Shongwe, good morning and welcome. We read and accepted your apologies, and during the proceedings, when you you have not yet arrived. A matter arose regarding two honorable members of this committee, Honorable Shikeleng from the DA and Honorable Skosana from the MKP, that in the documents that have been served, at the court, the names of the two honorable members appear as complainants. And so the DA has informed the committee that they have returned to the Speaker of Parliament to inform the office that they are bringing Honorable Klopper as the new member to this committee. And Honorable Klopper is sitting second right from Honorable Breitenbach. And the senior counsel has formally raised this matter here in the proceedings, that there is also the name of Honorable Skosana. And I'm informed that your party has also returned to the Speaker. Can you confirm that?
Chair, no, the party has not returned to the Speaker. In relation to what, Chair? If I may ask.
To the matter of Honorable Skosana being a complainant in the matter involving General Sibiya.
No, as far as I know, Chair, there is no letter to that effect. But Chair, if I may ask, that in accordance with the view of the legal counsel, then what becomes an issue if Honorable Skosana is a complainant? What is the issue? Where is the problem?
Okay. Let me give it to the senior counsel to explain.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. This in response to Honorable Members' query. I initially thought it prudent to raise it privately and directly with the members concerned, albeit in the case of Honorable Member Shikeleng, I messaged Advocate Breitenbach directly because I had a number on my phone. But I raised it with Honorable Member Skosana directly, and I had indicated I'm raising it with you now because I intend to raise it with the chairperson, who will no doubt raise it with the committee. But before we do that, I thought it was prudent that they take a view on it so that I could inform you. I think Honorable Member Breitenbach did so on Friday already during lunchtime. And yeah, and the basis, I think it's with respect pretty clear. Honorable Member Skosana is a complainant. There are two complainants in the criminal matter. If one has regard, I don't know if he had an opportunity of looking at the affidavit filed in the search and seizure application. That affidavit makes it clear that the criminal charges that they intend to bring against, amongst others, General Sibiya, Minister Mkhwanazi, and Mr. Nkabinde, they arise directly from the media briefing given by General Mkhwanazi on the 6th of July. Our terms of reference relates directly to the 6th of July statement by General Mkhwanazi. And to the extent that the two complaints, the one has got a case number, Cape Town, that's Honorable Member Schikkeling, and the other one has a case number in Brooklyn, in Pretoria. They both form the basis of an allegation that Minister Mkhunu, General Sibiya, Mr. Nkabinde, they are accused of defeating the ends of justice, and then alternative is that they conspired to do so. And I think it should be pretty self-evident that if you're sitting here on a committee asking a witness questions when you've already laid a complaint, and at best you have formed a prima facie view that that person is guilty of some or other wrongdoing, then I think there is an argument to be made that you shouldn't, in those circumstances, sit on the committee. But Chair, that is exactly why I had indicated to both honourable members that I'm going to raise it with you so that you could discuss it with the committee. Thank you.
Honorable Nomvalo.
Well, Chair, I want to disagree firstly with the evidence leader on what he has just said, that by virtue of laying a complaint, you have formulated a prima facie view. That is not true. When you lay a complaint, you are directing the police officers to investigate. The same thing that we're doing here. Prima facie can only be formulated by the police officers through an investigation. Two, it's not Skhosana who laid the complaint. Skhosana is a messenger of the MK party. It's the MK party that laid the complaint. So, if we are saying conflict of interest arises in that context, then it means we are saying the MK party must not participate here. Because I also share the same sentiments that Skhosana shares. And all MK members share the same sentiment, that there is a rot in the police and that warranted our action to lay a complaint. So when you lay a complaint, where does prima facie get in there? You have not formulated any prima facie. You are just saying to the police, there are areas that necessitate investigation, and you have the competency as the police officers to investigate. So that is why, Chair, when I was listening to you unpacking what transpired before we arrived, I was actually confused as to what is the issue here, really, because I was going to understand if there was something that was implicating Honorable Skhosana, if maybe in the testimony that will be accused here by General Sibiya, there was the name of Honorable Skhosana maybe as one of the suspects on a certain aspect, like in the case of the member of the DA that we are no longer seeing here as part of us. So where is the issue here, Senior Counsel? Where is the issue? You have not really done enough to convince us, except laying statements which are vague and which are not convincing. So, Chair, up until we are convinced, really, maybe we can start to have a discussion about this. But from where I'm sitting, there is nothing that warrants discussions at this stage, because there is actually no issue. We're just fundraising issues which are neither here nor there.
Senior Counsel, in the records that are before the police where the complaint was laid, and the documents that have been served or sent to you by General Sibiya's attorney, what are the names that appear, the names of the honorable members that appear in those documents?
Honorable Chair, honorable committee members. Yeah, it wasn't sent to me by General Sibiya. It was actually sent to me by Minister Mkhwanazi's lawyers. The names that appear are those of Honorable Member Schikkeling of the DA and Honorable Member Skosana of MK. The issue is quite simply one of fairness if you have regard to our terms of reference. It is stated there, the terms of reference, obviously, that guides and that binds this committee, that we will conduct these proceedings fairly in terms of the rule of law.
Let me check this.
So
the documents that General Sibiya and his lawyers have sent to us, do they have the names of these honorable members?
thank you. It's at page 21 of the no, it's not of this. Yeah, but is it in bundle? No, but it's sorry, it's sorry, it's in the core bundle of documents which is attached to which was sent to us yesterday at page 21. That's the same bundle that I referenced and that they're making copies of. And at page 21, paragraph 43 of the which is attached to the court order which was obtained on for the warrant. And this is the affidavit of Brigadier Kuneni, and it reads: further dockets, Cape Town CAS number 402/07/2025. On 10 July 2025, Mrs. Lisa Marie Schikkeling, a member of the National Assembly of the Republic and Deputy Spokesperson on Police for the Democratic Alliance, registered a criminal complaint against Mkhwanazi. She alleged that offences are fraud and the contravention of Section 27 of the Powers and Privileges and Immunities of Parliaments and Provincial Legislators Act 4 of 2004 by lying to Parliament that he did not know Mkhwanazi, when in truth he knew him. She claims that, and I quote, if it is found that the minister intentionally deceived members of Parliament, the minister must be found also to have obstructed these members in fulfilling their duty of oversight through the parliamentary committee, thereby further contravening Section 7A and B, and thus the contravention of Section 27 of the Act. And then the other reference is Brooklyn case number 172/7/2025. On 10 July 2025, Mr. David Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, a member of parliament representing the MK political party, also opened a criminal case against Mkhunu, Sibiya, and others. He alleged that Mkhunu may have committed the offences of fraud/forgery and defeating and obstructing the course of justice. The defeating and obstructing the course of justice emanates from the disbandment and disestablishment of the PKTT and the removal of its dockets from KwaZulu-Natal, as alluded to and traversed above. At this stage, the fraud/forgery charge is not clearly set out or explained in Mr. Skhosana's statement.
So the document has been sent to us.
It's being printed, Honorable Chair.
Yes, and this document is sent by General Sibiya's lawyer.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we had sight of this document on Friday already when it was sent to us by Minister Mkhunu's lawyers. And that's why I raised it
And
on
so
Friday.
now the question that is put before this committee is that if I open a case against you or I initiate proceedings, can I come and sit on the other side and ask you questions about matters related thereto?
Honorable Chair, this committee must make findings of fact and make recommendations to the National Assembly. I think there's an even higher duty on an honorable member of parliament sitting in this committee to observe the rules of fairness. I think most, if not all of us in this room, even before I was appointed as an evidence lead in this matter, we all follow the news, we all read the papers, and most of us, all of us, tend to form some kind of opinion. But that's a lay opinion. But when you find yourself sitting on a committee that now actually, not quite like a court of law, but sitting in judgment of a particular person, I think one is duty bound for constitutional, legal, and ethical reasons. But what I wanted to, that's why I wanted to raise it with the Honorable Chair.
Yeah, it's fine.
Maybe it's something that should have been discussed by the committee.
Let's do this first because what we are doing is unfair to General Sibiya. Maybe we may have to recuse him from the proceedings, and then we deal with this matter. We invite him back when I think it's fair. And I want to apologize to you, General, that we have to bring you into discussions like this in your presence. Yeah. Senior Counsel, can you please help the General out, and then we will let him know when we are ready to.
Have I now been deployed as a parliamentary officer?
You are the one who received him here, so can you please in the meantime, take him to where he should be. We will wait for you to come back and we deal with the matter. Yeah. No, just to take General Sibiya out and we'll come back. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks very much, Senior Counsel, for coming back. Honorable members, let me put this matter to you in this way, that there are two members of this committee, Honorable Shikeleng and Honorable Skosana, who have been mentioned in the documents that have been sent to us by General Sibiya and his lawyers, that the two members have respectively laid criminal complaints against Minister Mkhunu, General Sibiya, and Mr. Nkabinde in Cape Town and Brooklyn, respectively. So that matter has been brought to the attention of the individual members in the committee. And the Democratic Alliance has come here and announced that Honorable Shikeleng has been replaced by Honorable Thorpe. And now we are left with the matter of Honorable Skosana. And before I I rotate the matter for discussions. Can I check, senior counsel, is there anything that you want to say?
No, Chair, I was hoping it could be resolved in a matter that avoids me having to look like I'm somehow taking sides or anything. I'm just giving. You've asked me for a view. I've given a view. I think it goes to the heart of fundamental fairness. I was hoping on Friday when I interacted with the two members concerned privately, that it could also be resolved on that basis. So this is a bit unfortunate.
Okay. Thank you so much. Can I start with the African National Congress, or maybe let's give the MK party first to speak on the matter, and we understand how they view it before we rotate it for discussions.
Yeah, no, thank you once again, Chair. Chair, we are not happy with how the senior counsel is approaching this matter. He is not giving any direction. That is number one. He has just narrated the events. That so-and-so opened the case on this date and so on, and says it is up to this committee to make a decision. He does not even go to an extent of raising a legal principle so that we can know where we premise our discussions. I asked, what is an issue here? Is an issue about a conflict of interest? Because if the issue is a conflict of interest, then let us argue from that point. The senior counsel just narrates event. He does not cite the law. He does not cite any legal principle that will guide us in this context. The same thing he did when we were discussing the Honorable Barnard matter. He kept quiet. We did not receive any legal advice from him regarding that matter. Whereas he was employed to advise this committee inter alia during the course of its work. He was not only advised to lead evidence and write statements, he was advised to give us legal advices so that we do everything in accordance with the relevant laws. Now, he just narrates like a layperson to say, so-and-so went to a police station, he opened the case, then the committee must decide. He is throwing you, Chairperson, to the deep end because you will make wrong summaries and wrong determinations for this committee which are not in line with the law. As a legal advisor, as the starting point, he must say, this is what the law says in this regard. Then the committee can argue from that perspective, not from a perspective of narrating events that have been narrated. That thing can be done by anyone. It can be done even by a 6-year-old to say Nkosana on this date went and opened the case, then the committee must decide. He's an aspect here. He must play his role. Secondly, Chair, we have said that even on the question of a conflict of interest, it does not arise in this point because Nkosana is not a witness before this committee. He went to the police on behalf of the MK party, not on behalf of his family, not on his behalf, not on behalf of his company, but on behalf of the MK party to lay charges against General Sibiya. So if you say on those bases he must be recused, it means you are saying the MK party must be recused. Now the question is, if we were dealing with an ordinary committee here, the portfolio committee on police, what was going to be the case? Because these matters have been accounted for even before the portfolio committee on police, these matters, after the case was opened by Nkosana. So it means you are going to say Nkosana must not play his constitutional responsibility as an MP of doing oversight because he opened the case. The case, Chair, is to be investigated by a component falling in a different arm of the state, the police. Parliament is doing its work here as Parliament. We're doing our own investigation, which is not going to be influenced by how the police have investigated this matter. Because we're not only investigating General Sibiya here, we are also investigating the police holistically. So we don't know what is it that we are actually dealing with here. And the senior counsel is not helping this committee, chairperson. If anything, he is just exacerbating our problems. He comes here and speaks like a layman and say, this is what happened, then you must decide. What does the law say? So that we can argue it from that. If we can approach our lawyers now and say there's an issue in the committee with regards to Honorable Skhosana, they will say, but what is the issue? And we will have nothing to say because there is absolutely nothing that is put before us to say here is a crisis. Like we argued the case of Honorable Barnard, that in our view, his continued stay in this committee constitute a conflict of interest. So, Chairperson, we are not sure of what we are discussing here. And in our view, the senior counsel is not doing justice for this committee. He's just exacerbating confusions. And we think he can do better than that. Maybe let's afford him an opportunity to tell us about the law, to say these are the legal principles that are guiding us in this context. And here is my advice as a legal advisor. Thank you very much.
The ANC.
Thanks, Chair. I think to a larger extent, the point that is made by the MK part, I was hoping that before we intervene as other parties, you may allow the senior counsel to properly motivate the argument that he has advanced in terms of it being supported by whatever clauses on our terms of references. And then we can come in. We do have a view on this matter, but on the legal issues, we think that if he's drawing our attention to any legal matters, we should allow him first, and then we can come in. Thanks.
Okay, I take that point. Senior counsel. Okay, Honorable Breitenbach.
Okay. Chair, perhaps I may be wrong, but my understanding of this situation is this, that Mr. Arendse and his two junior counsel are here as assistants to the committee in order to place evidence on record. They're the evidence leaders. They're not here as legal advisors to Parliament. Parliament's legal advisors are here. Their job is to supply the committee with legal advice. It's not the job of Mr. Arendse to supply the committee with legal advice. If you want a legal opinion from him, you'll have to brief him and pay him extra. I understand him to be here as an evidence leader, and the role of an evidence leader is completely different to that of somebody giving you legal advice. If we as a committee want legal advice on a position, we must ask Parliament for the legal advice. That's why they're here. Thank you.
No, I think, Chair, okay, it may very well be that in terms of how we've been interacting here, we have been looking at the senior counsel and the team almost interchangeably with our legal team, because right from the beginning when we started our work, the understanding was that here is an external team which is coming to work together with the parliamentary team. Now, I have no problem with Honorable Breitenbach's argument, Glenis's argument that no, that's not what they are meant for, and I don't want us to spend time on that. This is what I want to suggest. I think firstly, we would like to suggest that, firstly, we want to welcome the decision of the DA to withdraw one of their members on the basis of the court case that has been opened, notwithstanding the fact that the court case may very well be a DA court case as opposed to an individual court case. But the mere fact that the member who happened to participate in that case is one of our own, it therefore suffices that they've taken the correct decision on that matter. Secondly, and I would want to assume that our view as the ANC is that that decision may have not necessarily dependent on certain legal principles, but rather on taking a position on moral ground and understanding the fairness that has got to unfold in the committee like ourselves when we're interacting with the witnesses. Now, I want to propose, Chair, two things. The first one is that the parliamentary legal team should look at this matter, even if they don't advise us now. We are allowed to proceed now with Honorable Skhosana in attendance, while we allow them to go and look at the matter and advise us whether there are any legal grounds for him to be recused. However, in an event where his name pops up in the presentation by the witness who's coming here, in the context of him having or being expected later on to answer to certain things that are going to arise from the presentation, we should then agree in principle that we will treat him in the same way that we've treated others. But in terms of the legal standing of his participation here and now, I suggest that we defer that matter to the parliamentary legal team. And in the meantime, we allow the proceedings to resume and proceed with an understanding that will be advised later on whether or not he actually qualifies to remain in the committee. That's our submission as the ANC. Thanks.
Is there anybody who is opposed to that view? Okay. The DA, can I see if the Democratic Alliance wants to take a bite on the proposal?
Chair, we'd like to see the committee move along.
Okay.
So we have no difficulty with the proposal.
Okay. Honorable Sauls.
Chair, we as a committee and yourself, Chair, we've delayed the issue unnecessarily from day one when we raised the issue of conflict. And we delayed it. The House decided that after the first witness, we will relook at the matter of conflict. After the first witness, I wrote to you. We spoke face to face. You delayed it even further and said we will discuss it in detail this coming Wednesday. Now we're sitting with a similar issue because we didn't make a decision on it. And even in the last meeting, online meeting, virtual meeting, it was agreed that there will be a legal opinion on the matter. Now, we must...
Honorable Sauls.
Are you recognizing the...
No. I want to say to you that you are an honorable member of this parliament. And this committee is a committee of members of parliament. So when you see a hand of a person who is not a member of parliament, you must not be distracted. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you, Chair. It's just, I was looking at you and you were looking at the
This is a parliamentary proceeding.
So as I was saying, if we dealt with it and we got the legal opinion in the beginning, we would now not have the need for this proposal to say, let's first get a legal opinion and then we continue. That's the first thing. That's the first reason why I disagree with the proposal, because we have to have that legal opinion already. Then the MKP says that the matter or the criminal case was opened against General Sibiya by Honorable Kosana, but not in his individual capacity, but as a party. If it was in his individual capacity, I would then have proposed Rule 163 of our rules, that they can co-opt someone else when the witnesses who is involved in that case are here. But now that it's the entire party on the record, the entire party must recuse themselves for when the witness.
Yeah, but you see.
But let me finish.
Just to hold you there, I don't want you to debate the merits and the demerits, because the proposal of the Chief Whip is that General Sibiya is already here. If we want to discuss, like you said, the chair said, we will itemize all those matters for Wednesday. We will discuss them. But for now, what we should do, for me, is to check if all of you agree with this proposal.
No, but that's unfair, Chair, because before the proposal of the Chief Whip made that proposal when it was the Chief Whip's opportunity to comment on the issue, to discuss the issue. And then in his input, the Chief Whip then proposed. Now I'm only expected to deal with the proposal and not give my input. But everyone else before me gave their input. I need to be allowed to give my input on the matter.
It's okay. If you want to give that background, you can do. But,
I have to.
But where I stand, I would persuade you to talk to the proposal. The proposal that the Chief Whip makes is that all of you will still be given a chance to raise the views that you have around the matter. But for now, because he's proposing that we subject this matter to a legal opinion.
Chair, I'm saying that the position we have on the MKP on conflict, from day one, we had the same position on the DA on conflict. It's not only the MKP that is conflicted here. The entire 4 members that the DA has given initially is conflicted. All 4. Today we find out that the 1 member that's now being removed by the DA, it's not something beautiful. The Honorable Member Breitenbach said that they knew about this. She opened the case some time ago. So when they fielded her, they knew about the conflict of interest. Removing her today is not something beautiful. It is just proving that they intentionally knew about conflict, allowed the Honorable Member, and all 4 of them, I don't know about the new Honorable Member, but all 4 of them are conflicted. 3 out of the 4 needs to be witnesses. So now I'm saying, when we decide on MKP, we must also decide on DA. DA, the entire members of DA is conflicted.
Yes, Honorable Source, I hear you see what we must do, Honorable Members. Let us direct ourselves to, I know you are politicians and you are political parties. You know, political parties, they like sniping at each other.
No, Chair, point of order. I'm not sniping at anybody. I'm raising facts. Honorable Barnard, we've spoken about it. There's conflict. The witness, our terms of reference says, any allegation that the main witness that General Mkhwanazi raises and anyone implicated, we must investigate. General Mkhwanazi implicated Honorable Barnard, he implicated Honorable Cameron, he implicated Honorable Breitenbach. That's 3. Today, the DA lets us know that Honorable Schickling has opened up a criminal case and therefore there is bias. So therefore she's removed. These are facts. I'm not sniping at any party. This thing that when it comes to corruption, it has a black face. When it comes to those who must hold them accountable, it's only a white face. The 3 out of the DA that is implicated by General Mkhwanazi must become witnesses. We must question them. They have alleged part in political interference into the work of the police. We must interrogate that. If we're not going to be fair, then we can't expect the same from MKP. So I disagree with the proposal and I say we must look into conflict for MKP and the DA. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Vessels. Can I check, honorable members from the DA, do you want to speak before? Because from here, I'm going to give the MKP to reply and then we must go on with the proceedings. I mean, can I check, okay. From Vessels, DA, do you want to speak?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, you know.
Yes, if you want to speak, hold it there. I just want to know.
Well, we'll wait.
Honorable Sangoni, would you want to speak or what the Chief Whip said is fine with yourselves?
Yes, I think we just still stand by that proposal, Chair. Only in the event that you change the decision, then we'd want to come back. Thank you.
Okay. So we are going to do like this is Honorable Vessels, Honorable Breitenbach, and then Honorable Nomvalo. And delay, you must come closer to me.
Thank you, Chairperson. Obviously, one has an opinion on this matter, but I think the proposal is progressive. Let's move on. Let's get a legal opinion, and let's discuss the issue on, I think, Wednesday when we have a household a meeting that we can discuss household issues. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Breitenbach.
Thanks, Chair. I would like to suggest to the Honourable Sauls that he be a little more circumspect in the use of the word implicate. We will go with the proposal of the ANC Chief Whip, just to get the matter moving along. The meeting on Wednesday, as you well know, I cannot attend for previously arranged reasons. The Honourable Cameron won't be there, so the Honourable Klopper will present our argument on Wednesday. Thank you.
Okay. MKP.
Chair, we disagree with the proposal. If you take that decision, you can take it on your own. We are not part of it. We are going to consult our legal advisors on this issue because it cannot be that you can do on the left what you can't do on the right. When we're faced with the most critical issue in this committee, involving a member of this committee who was implicated by the testimony made by General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, there was never a call for a legal advice. Where does this call come from? Because the senior counsel does not do what we task him to do, to say, what is the issue here? Take us through. He's not doing that. And we say, out of nothing, let us have a legal advice. Because there's absolutely nothing that is a crisis that has been put before us, except narrating events of who opened the case when and for what. So, Chairperson, we don't have confidence already in that team because they kept quiet. They never advised this committee on serious issues. Two, we disagree with what Honorable Breitenbach is saying. The senior counsel has a task of advising this committee. If that was not the case, he would not have raised the matter he's raising now. He would have come here in this committee and led the evidence if he does not have a responsibility to advise the committee. So it means he has acted ultra vires if we were to go according to what Honorable Breiterbach is saying. The problem with what he has done is that he has just given us a half-cooked legal advice, a microwave legal advice, which is not enough, with no legal principles, a whole senior council. So, Chair, we disagree with this. If the committee takes that decision, take it on your own, we will consult our legal team because we know the legal advice that will be given by Andile on this matter. Thank you.
Look, no, I'm not going to give any member time to speak. If you get triggered by what other members are saying, we will not finish. We will discuss this matter the whole day.
Point of order, Chair.
Point of order, Honorable Source, is taken.
Not taking input on the issue. I just wanted to say that we have asked for a legal opinion. So it's not true that there's no legal opinion. That legal opinion should be here now so that we can have an answer to the issue. Because if we're going to allow a witness to sit there and be questioned by people who has a matter against him, it's not fair. His constitutional rights is being infringed upon because he's not having a fair trial. So there should have been a legal opinion already now because we've requested it when we addressed the issue of Honorable Barnard. So the question is just, is that legal opinion now available instead of postponing this session for a legal opinion? Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Andile.
Good afternoon, Chairperson. Good afternoon to the honorable members and greetings to my colleagues as well. Chair, for us, this is a fairly simple matter because it is not the first time that a committee of parliament is confronted, with this question. And I think, Chair, if you look at the rules, you will agree with me that the rules do not say anything regarding the recusal of members. And I personally, Chair, I think there's a reason for that. And the reason is a simple one, is that you can't subject members of parliament to the requirements of independence or impartiality. If you read 5.1 of our terms of reference, it says, this committee is neither a judicial or quasi-judicial, it says, let me just read it. 5.1 under the format of the inquiry. And I think this begins from the second sentence. It is neither a judicial or quasi-judicial process, nor is it an adversarial process. Yeah, okay, I'll just stop there. So Chairperson, this committee does not perform a judicial or adjudicative function. Its function is merely to inquire into these matters and report on them to the National Assembly. So even if you are speaking about a decision in a technical legal sense, this committee won't be making any decisions. It will just report that which it has done, to the House. And of course, the House will have to take a decision whether they agree with the report of the committee as well. So, of course, Chairperson, it would be undesirable for any member of the committee to participate in its inquiry into the conduct of the member concerned. And if I listen to the conspectors of facts, Chairperson, the members we're talking about are not under investigation. I know I'm not aware that these members were investigating them, and of course, a member should not sit in judgment of his or her own conduct. I agree with that, But the mere fact that a member, of a committee has expressed strong views or has particular knowledge of matters under investigation does not disqualify them. I'm not sure if I've tried to simplify it. So we're not a court, Chair. We're not sitting as a court. That's my view. And of course, members of parliament, I know I'm repeating myself, to subject them to requirements of independence and impartiality, that's not correct, Chairperson. Chairperson, I'll leave it there up until maybe there are, follow-up questions. Thanks.
Look, this is what we are going to do, honorable members. Number one, I'm going to make a request to you that every time we discuss a matter, our focus must be on the matter for discussion. Because we spend a lot of time making political statements, veering away from the matter at issue. And that takes our time. Number two, I want you as honorable members to understand that we are a constitutional democracy. That is what we are in terms of architect. Mr. Tejana has read a clause in our terms of reference. And that clause that he has read, I believe it must also be read in context with the rules of parliament. And the rules of parliament must also be subjected to the supremacy of the law in this country. But for now, the matter has been raised by ourselves as members. And all what we are saying here has not been put to test. And maybe before I come back to this matter to tell you how we're going to move forward, let me go back to the matter of the senior counsel. This senior counsel is not a senior counsel of parliament. This committee is a committee of parliament which runs in terms of the rules that we ourselves as members of parliament have adopted. And if there is any matter that has to do with the rules or our conduct as members of parliament, don't throw that matter to the senior counsel. It is not his matter. You may have whatever feelings you have about him, but let's not draw him to matters that are not within his or the ambience of his work. Please. He has been unnecessarily attacked here. The attack on him is unjustifiable. And we must desist from doing that. So there is a provision in Rule 165 of the rules. I don't know if that provision is applicable to the matter here, which deals with integrity. But Andile is right. You know, when we are members of parliament, the reason why and the Chief Whip has said it here, that it's very difficult to legislate on morality. But the reason why you are called an honorable member, it's not just a cheap tag that you get on the streets, Honorable Lakhanyane, Honorable Lakhanyane. They call you an honorable member because there is a huge expectation on your part to be exemplary in everything that you do. But unfortunately, we cannot legislate on morality, and our rules are silent on matters like this one. So, and this is a matter which I have personally told you in more than one occasion, that just try it one day and mention my name, you will see. You will no longer see me sitting here. It's a moral stand. I don't have to discuss it with anybody. It's about my morality as a person. And it cannot even be commuted to anybody. And we cannot even try and persuade anybody to have that kind of understanding. But then what we will do, honorable members, is that we are going to proceed in this way. We are going to allow General Sibiya to come here and make a presentation. And during their presentation, where there is information that comes out that implicates the member, or a statement is made to the extent that the witness expresses their unhappiness with the presence of the member, that is where we are going to have a problem. And number two, because this committee is a committee of parliament, and attention has to be brought to the office of the Speaker in terms of Rule 165. That Speaker, in the parliament that you lead, there is an ad hoc committee comprising of the following members. And in the evidence presented so far, there are the names of these members that continue or that are being mentioned. And then the office of the Speaker as the leader of Parliament will then have to lead us in that regard. So I'm not going to open this matter for a debate now.
Just a point of clarity, please, Chair. I just want to be clear. Clarity, please.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, to understand, did the legal advice, is the legal advice saying that there's no requirement for us to be impartial? And Chair, you are agreeing with that? Just for clarity, so I have an understanding.
No. Let's put the issue of the legal advice aside, because if there is a legal advice, the legal advice must come from the office of the Speaker. That is what the Chief Whip has said here. Go and seek legal advice. So the leader of this parliament is the Speaker, and the rules enjoin us to report every matter to the office of the Speaker. So that is exactly what should happen. Senior Counsel.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, honorable members. Yeah, just in addition to what Andile drew attention to, I think it's important to draw attention to the following terms of reference that binds this committee. The first is at paragraph 1.6. It says a committee of parliament that holds a public inquiry for purposes of reporting to the NA exercises public power and is obliged to do so in accordance with, but not limited to, the fundamental principles of the rule of law, legality, rationality, procedural fairness, and justice, ensuring that its procedure and report adheres thereto. Then at 1.7, the committee agrees to conduct the inquiry in accordance with the provisions of these terms of reference, which are based on the aforesaid principles.
Yeah.
Then just the...
There is nothing wrong with what you are saying, Senior Counsel. If you listened, I said that the rules of parliament that we have and the terms of reference and the Constitution of the Republic have to be read together if you want to make a proper interpretation of that.
And then, Chair, at the same 5.8, 5.8.1, where is this? Where's that rule that you? There's again a reference to the same principles. And can I just say 5.1,
Chairperson? Chair?
can I just say
Chairperson?
lastly 5.1,
Chairperson, I'm calling an order on you, Chair.
Okay, Honorable.
Chair, you have just said a few minutes ago, the legal counsel does not have a right to advise this committee. It can only be advised by the speaker. The reason why this meeting is on hold is because of the advice that he has initially given to us. 2, you are allowing him to proceed with his legal advices, and we will demand our right of reply. Because it can't just be left hanging. If he is advising us on the direction that we must take, we must also deliberate on his advices. I just want you to know, Chairperson.
Yeah.
And if you say he has no right to advise us, he can only lead evidence, as it has been said by Honorable Breitenbach. So be it. We can't be found wanting because we don't know exactly what he's doing now. Is he advising us or what is happening here, Chairperson?
But listen,
and I think you are creating more confusion.
Listen here, Honorable Nomvalo. The Senior Counsel has raised a matter here to the attention of the committee. And that can never be equated to him giving us a legal advice. He came here and said, I want you to note as the committee that you have the following members of your committee who are being mentioned in a letter that has been sent to you by General Sibiya's lawyers. That's what the Senior Counsel did. And the enfilade on the Senior Counsel must stop. It must stop. We cannot allow honorable members to continue to attack the Senior
Point of
Counsel.
order, Chair. I think I respected the Chair. When I've been raising my hand, you are not pointing me. Chair, abantu base South Africa right now, bawomela ukukhuluma noBaba Sibiya bazi ukuthi uyaganga or akaganga. Let's stop wasting time where Chief Whip has also given a direction that's in phambili kanjani. You, Chair, are wasting time now, continuously allowing this matter to continue. He has given an advice. If it's not an advice, what is it? So, Chair, I'm asking my plea to you, Chair, before you speak, with all respect, can we kindly respect South Africans now that we take this matter as Andile has spoken? It will be dead on that Wednesday deliberation, and we don't accept it. But we have a Wednesday to talk about that matter. For now, can we put South African first? Can you be a chair? Niyasabu kuluma chair right now, because the first time I spoke, I told you you are not running the committee correctly. And today I always find myself victimized. When I pick up my hand, you jump me. And you also emphasize on time, alternates and all those things. But can I tell you this time around, Chair, you are not steering this committee right at this moment. Please protect South Africans, give South Africans the respect you've always given them. Life, it's totally different. Ubhanat ugangile la baba la mama le wathatha ithombo enika abantu wafaka impilo amaphoyisa enkingeni. It's totally different with a person othunywe umkhonto wesizwe to open a case. Totally different. We are still failing to see that clear, implicated and umuntu othunyiwe. Come on, Chair. Hlonipha abantu ngiyacela.
Okay. Look, I did not expect you to debate the matter. I expected you to raise the point of order. That point of order is ruled out because if you want to say the chair does not recognize you, I said when I noted the hands, I said to you guys, I'm going to give the MKP chance to reply. No, we don't run a meeting like that. And if you are unhappy with the chair, do not attack the chairperson and say the chairperson is not running the meeting. We have been running these proceedings from the first day under very difficult circumstances, but we are where we are today. And I'm going to plead with you, honorable members. We have to be calm if we are going to make this committee to work. We have to be calm. There is nothing that will stop us from doing our work. The only thing which will defeat us is the attitude that we bring to the meeting and our proceedings. Honorable Vessels.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, I think we should be fair. The senior counsel brought a possible perception of conflict of interest to the committee's attention. That is his prerogative. It is his due diligence to do, because we have to disclose a possible perception of a conflict of interest. That's not advice, but Chairperson, let's move on, please.
Do you want to speak, Honorable Skosana? Do you think it's fair to speak on a matter where your name is subject of discussion?
Yeah, in fact, I just want. It's about me. I'm not going to comment on this, but I just wanted to support my colleague to say it's improper to say the evidence leader is not giving advice. He's giving advice. The fact of the matter is that he's giving advice. And you said the proposal was that Andile, like Honorable Brechenbach was saying, the Andile is from the Parliamentary Legal Service. He has mentioned what must happen. But now we are debating that with the SC. I mean, with the SC, our evidence leader. I don't think it's fair. In other words, we are saying, I don't want to go to the merits to say it's wrong for Umkhonto Wesizwe Party to open a case against anyone in this country. Therefore, it means Umkhonto Wesizwe won't be able to participate in Parliament when this matter is going to be debated.
But you are going back to debate the issue that,
thank you, Chair.
That we have.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to highlight that the SC is giving legal advice. It's not giving any other thing. It's not questioning the witness. It's arguing that MKP should not be here. It's not about me. This is not a private matter. Umkhonto Wesizwe has opened a case.
I want to know.
Thank you, Chair.
Do you still need some time to talk on this matter that involves your name?
No, Chair, I'll listen. Thank you.
Okay. Honorable members, we have concluded this item. Like we have said, it will still be discussed in the committee, but it has to be brought to the attention of the Speaker of Parliament. Committees of Parliament report to the Speaker on the work that they do. And the Chief Whip is right in his proposal when he says Parliament will have to get a legal opinion on this matter, because this is a matter which has to do with the rights of the citizens of this country. So let's conclude it that way. And I want to thank you for for your participation in the discussions. And where you might have said things during the discussions that you may regret, when you are alone, just inform yourself that I regret what I would have said. I could have said it in a better way, but I said it different. Don't tell anybody about those regrets. Just inform yourself. That is how you become a better person. Let me check if I must give you a 9 minutes break so that we reorganize ourselves with General Sibiya. Will come back at 22:1. Yeah, thank you so much.
This I have not responded because it's still in my head. You could see how do I attend to it. Same as manga, but I'm going to qualify on because I think it won't be a once off. Something that you might need for discussion.
It is right. If you had my contribution.
No, but again,
Thank you so much, honorable members, and welcome back, General Sibiya. We have now done our housekeeping, which did not need you. And I think we were ready to proceed. Honorable members and our participants here, there is this ownerless cell phone. Yeah. The cell phone is ownerless, so any person who wants to claim to be an owner will have to come and produce all official documents. Yeah. Okay. We are now going to do like this. The General Sibiya, welcome. This is the procedure which we are going to take. We are going to start by administering oath, and then thereafter, our evidence leader and his team, Advocate Arensen, will then lead you in the statement that you have deposed here with us. Let me say the following to you, that you have been invited to appear before this ad hoc committee, which investigate the allegations by Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, so that you provide information in relation to the ad hoc committee's oversight work in investigating these allegations, which include, amongst others, the alleged unlawful disbandment of the Political Killings Task Team, the PKT team, alleged moratorium on the filling of vacancies within the South African Police Services, SAPS, and alleged corrupt relationship between senior leadership within SAPS and members of the public, as well as political interference in the work of the SAPS. In extending this invitation, the ad hoc committee chairperson has indicated that you may provide such information to the committee if you so wish, under oath in terms of the powers, privileges, and immunities of Parliament and Provincial Legislatures Act. You have indicated that you wish to take the oath so as to be afforded the protections as provided in the Powers and Privileges Act 2004. Please be informed that by law, you are required to answer fully and satisfactorily all the questions lawfully put to you, or to produce any document that you are required to produce in connection with the subject matter of the inquiry, notwithstanding the fact that the answer or the document could incriminate you or expose you to criminal or civil proceedings or damages. You are, however, protected in that evidence given under oath or affirmation before a house or committee may not be used against you in any court or place outside Parliament, except in criminal proceedings concerning a charge of perjury or a charge relating to the evidence or documents required in these proceedings. Please be aware that in terms of Section 17, subsection 2 of the Powers, Privileges, and Immunities of Parliament and Provincial Legislatures Act, a person who willfully furnishes a house or committee with information or makes a statement before it which is false or misleading commits an offense and is liable to a fine or to imprisonment for a period not exceeding 2 years. You are required to take an oath or affirm that the evidence you are about to give is truthful. You may choose to take the oath or the affirmation. Which one do you prefer, General Sibiya?
I'll take an oath there, Chair.
Thank you so much. If you take oath, I will then read the following, and then you will repeat. You will mention your full names and say, I swear that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
I, Shadrack Sibiya, I swear that the evidence that I shall give shall be the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you so much, General Sibiya. I'm now handing over to Senior Counsel Advocate Arendse to start the engagements with you. Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you, Chair.
Good afternoon, General.
Afternoon.
We were supposed to start this morning, but it's afternoon. Anyway, thank you for your attendance, and thank you and your team, your legal team, for the cooperation that we've received in the past few weeks. And also more recently, some additional documents that have become available. Honorable Chair, as I indicated, these documents are being printed and will become available during the course of the day to honorable committee members. And if I may, with your leave and honorable members' leave, refer occasionally to some of those documents as I ask the witness questions. General, just by way of introduction, is there anything briefly that you want to say or mention to the honorable committee?
And thank you, Chair, and honorable members. Just to find out in relation to the fact that before we broke, Chair, there was a discussion that was actually being discussed in relation to the concern that we raised in relation to one of the honorable members in relation to his participation in these proceedings, considering the fact that the honorable member is a complainant in a member that led to a search and seizure at my house, and at the same time I have to come and account before the same parliamentary member as well. So as far as I'm concerned, there's a conflict of interest. I just want to be led by Parliament and advised with all the utmost respect. I just need to be guided by Parliament, by the Chair, by this House, as to what is the final verdict, so that I can also take legal advice from my team and then take it from there, Chair. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you so much, General. And I want to thank you for your courage to raise the matter with us. It's within your right to raise that matter. We are a committee of Parliament that runs in accordance with the rules that Parliament has adopted. And the rules that we have do not empower us to take any decision regarding the participation or the membership of members to committees. The only recourse that we have as a committee is to write to the Speaker of Parliament and alert that office about any other matter that would have arisen in relation to any member of the committees of Parliament. So we will accordingly bring the matters to the attention of the office of the Speaker of Parliament.
Am I allowed to take legal advice? And if the chair say no, I'm 100% ready to proceed, but I just want to get, because I'm trying to remain within the rules, and also not for Parliament to think that I'm being difficult, but it's a matter that we've been discussing with the legal team, because there's a better way of, maybe from my side of my legal team, to be able to express it better than I can, if it is allowed. But if the chair says no, let's proceed. I'm ready, Chair. But it is my humble request that I be given an opportunity to hear, or for my legal team to be allowed to actually express my concern more in a legal form, if it is allowed.
In terms of the terms of reference that we have passed, we have said that you have a right to consult with your lawyers, but when you come here to our proceedings, your lawyers may not represent you in our proceedings. And if you, for instance, say, I want to consult with my lawyers and hear what they say, and then I will come back and sit on this chair. It's not for you to tell us what they are saying. Remember, it's your right to consultation. And if you come back and say, no, I have consulted with my lawyers, let's proceed. Yeah. I don't think we can deny you that right to consult your lawyer.
Just 2 minutes, Chair.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good, Chair. I'm ready, Chair.
When you say you are ready, you mean we can proceed?
Yes, Chair.
Okay. Thank you so much. Senior Counsel.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, and thank you, General Sibiya. We have discussed with you the topics that we intend to follow, that you have in your General Masemola, General Masemola being the more recent, that I will also from time to time put to you any adverse comment or comments that they made for you to give a response. I've discussed with you and your team that because our procedure is different to that of the Nhlanhla Commission, and we only have you, as it were, here today, I will take the opportunity of occasionally putting a contrary version to you for your comment. And you and your team have accepted that that's in order with you. In fact, you welcome the opportunity of putting your side of the story, as it were, before the honorable committee and people of this country. The themes we're going to follows the contours of our terms of reference. We look at the minister's directive, your involvement or knowledge, if any, of the political killings task team prior to the minister's directive, and subsequently the control and custody of dockets and the removal of PKTT dockets. We look at alleged political interference, alleged factionalism in SEPS. So broadly, those will be the themes that we will follow, but let's start on a more personal note. Your witness statement begins with your employment with SEPS over a number of years. And if we go to paragraph 13, it starts at paragraph 10 on page 7. This is your career path, which at paragraph 11 you'll see on the 2nd of January 1989. So it's quite a long career in SEPS, and where you have progressed to the most senior levels within SEPS. I want to just ask you, just for purposes of distinguishing between what we have today and what you currently work with and experience, just to discuss briefly your appointment to the Directorate of Special Operations, commonly referred to as the Scorpions, in 2001, which you referred to at paragraph 13. You established the Northern Cape and Free State offices in 2004, and where you appointed the Special Chief Investigator until the Scorpions disbandment in 2009. So briefly, just describe for us your experience with the Scorpions, what your own views were on the effectiveness, etc.
Thank you, Chair. Just before I continue, Chair, in response to my short meeting with my legal team, I'm advised that I will proceed. I'm proceeding, but I must note or indicate rather that I do so under protest, Chair, in case at the ultimate end, because I will be participating in a process that I believe could be tainted. And as a result, I just want to note that, Chair. Thank you very much. Chair, starting from my career path, Chair, I'm appointed as the Deputy National Commissioner and I'm responsible for crime detection. And I've been employed by the police since the 2nd of January, 1989. And I rose through the ranks, starting from where I was deployed in Knysna as a constable. And in December, I was also appointed as the head of the General Desk of Internationally Missing and Wanted Person at Interpol. I obtained my national diploma in police administration in 1996 at Technikon SA, and I also obtained my BTech degree in policing through UNISA in 2008. I'm currently registered for Masters in Arts in Criminal Justice in UNISA. In 2001, I joined the Directorate of Special Operations, colloquially known as the Scorpions, and I was based at Gauteng as a senior special investigator. I was also based at head office of the Scorpions at the NPA BGM. Then whilst I was there, I was one of the people who were sent to the Eastern Cape when the Eastern Cape were hit by a spate of corruption and corrupt activities at the Eastern Cape. I'm one of the people who were sent down there to go and fight corruption and maladministration in the Eastern Cape for a number of years. I was subsequently referred to head office as a project manager responsible for the Eastern Cape and Free State region. I was running those projects for those provinces. In and around 2004, I myself, together with Advocate Moleboheng Mdala-Maisela, who is now a judge, we were sent to Free State, the two of us, to go and establish the Office of the Scorpions that was to be responsible for both Northern Cape and the Free State. And following this, then leading to my appointment as the Chief Special Investigator in 2005. Then in 2009, the Scorpions were disbanded. I was then sent to commercial crime within the South African Police Service. But then I indicated that my interest is more in fighting organized crime, and then I was sent to organized crime at head office. When I arrived at the Scorpion head office, at the South African Police Service head office, at the DPCI, the Hawks head office. At that point in time, because we were just arriving from the Scorpions, there was not much because there was no posts really allocated. I started a unit. It was a task team called Tactical Operations Management Section that dealt with serious and violent crimes, including cash in transit, ATM bombings, serious and violent murders. And this is the team that at some point between 2010, 2011, 2012, it was mostly dealing with cash in transit and ATM bombings. And I'm quite sure members can recall, because there was a point where even we were counting with Parliament in terms of the kingpins that were involved in the cash in transit that we have identified and that we were addressing. Parliament was even doing a countdown with us until 0. And for a period of for a long period of time, at some point, Cash in Transit became quiet because of that intervention that I was leading. To an extent that the same team that I formed today, it was actually turned into a fully fledged unit to be part of the DPCI, within the structure of the DPCI. I was then approached and promoted to become the Deputy Provincial Commissioner of Gauteng, responsible for the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation, which is the DPCI in Gauteng. And then members will realize that it is at a time when the management of the South African Police Service decided to bring General Petros from Western Cape, who was doing well here in the Western Cape. They sent him to Gauteng because Gauteng was under pressure. When you look at the provinces, Western Cape was always #1, but Gauteng was #9 in terms of the crime fighting. As you fight crime, you check on the provinces which one is doing well and which one is not, is really suffering. General Petros was taken to Gauteng, and then I was part of the team of General Petros, which changed the whole scene in Gauteng in such a way that Gauteng became #1, no longer #9. I was there also with General Petros running the DPCI in Gauteng. And members and Chair, it is at that point in time when I was approached to conduct an investigation on the former Divisional Commissioner of Crime Intelligence, General Richard Mdluli. And I put the team together that were running the investigation, leading to the arrest of Richard Mdluli. And it is at that point in time that I actually made a lot of enemies within crime intelligence sector. Many cases were opened against me, and to an extent that even when they brought in General Nhlanhla, who was to take over from General Mdluli, he immediately suspended me, immediately charged me for fraud and corruption on fraudulent kilometer claim, including the illegal rendition of the Zimbabweans. I was charged for the illegal rendition of the Zimbabwean. And when you look at the people who actually were involved in the arresting of those Zimbabweans, all of those people who were arrested by crime intelligence. And crime intelligence were even given or awarded letters of commendation, but I'm the one who was charged for illegal rendition. I got charged for fraudulent kilometer claim. When we got to court before a magistrate, the magistrate asked the prosecutor, "Why did you charge this man?" The prosecutor says, into the court record, the records are there with the voices of the prosecutor saying what I'm saying that I know there was no case, but I was instructed to put the matter on the court roll. Now, Chair and members, this took me almost 7 years to fight this thing to return back to the police, having been dismissed for crime I did not commit, which is the similar situation I'm facing now.
Sorry, General. So just following that sequence of your employment, so the time lapse between your employment with SAPS and then your subsequent re-employment on the 1st of July, when you returned as the component head of organized crime. Prior to that, you were employed by the city of Joburg.
That's correct, Chair.
That period of employment, was that following the charges and the finding of guilty from Major General Nhlanhla, the charges he brought against you?
That is correct, Chair.
So and your employment at the city of Joburg, so some would describe it as your departure there as somewhat controversial.
May I respond, Chair?
Yes.
The employment at the city of Chair and members, you will remember that I challenged my dismissal all the way. From the start, after the suspension, the judges in all the courts that ruled in this matter, they ruled in my favor to an extent that General Nhlanhla was, the judge said that he's a dishonest person who lacks honor and integrity. And as a result of that, the Helen Suzman Foundation and the Freedom Under Law, they took the matter to court for General Nhlanhla to be released. So now, but the fact is I was already fired. I had to follow the labor law, the labor relations process, and which took quite some time. Now, I have won the cases, and now I was at home. I was looking for a job, and an opportunity came from the city of Joburg. I applied like many others, and then I was employed by the city of Joburg. Now, I was employed daylight on a national television, approved by the council of the city of Joburg, and I participated like any other normal employee. I accounted before the committees, all the oversight bodies. So there is no any other environment that is actually regulated more than like the city. The systems put in place, everything that gets approved by the council. I was appointed officially so, and even when that was challenged, it was investigated by the public protector. I was cleared by the public protector. We've got the public protector report that I can refer to. Chair, you will help me here. Was the way we pegged my. We've got the public protector report in the bundle, Chair. I will just.
No, it's not there, but it's
Yeah.
fine. So you were appointed by the city of Joburg, but you had also left there.
I left.
Well, what was the circumstances of your departure there?
Because of the fact that I joined the police when I was 20 years, and today I'm 57 years. So I grew up in the police. My job is that of the police. I was there because I had no job at that point in time. But the moment the labor court appeal gave me the result that says you are being reinstated with effect from the 1st of July, I went back to the South African Parliament.
Oh, okay. So that explains your reemployment. It wasn't even a reemployment with SAPS. It was a reinstatement.
Reinstatement, as if I never left.
So the labor court found that you had been unfairly dismissed, unfairly treated.
Unfairly and substantially and unprocedurally dismissed.
And the primary remedy for the labor court in cases of unfair dismissal is always reinstatement.
It's reinstatement, and I was supposed to actually be paid for the difference for the whole 5 years, 6 years I was out. But because I was already employed, it cannot be, because it's being looked at as double dipping. Yeah. So the court said, no, we'll only reimburse you for the period you were unemployed. But for this other one, you were already employed, so we can't pay you since then.
So your reinstatement at SAPS on 1 July 2022 into the role of component head of organized crime in the rank of Major General, was that equivalent to the role you had occupied at the time of your dismissal?
Yes, I was a Major General, and when I was reinstated, there was already a Major General appointed at the DPCI. And then I felt that I really don't need to fight for a position and say I was the head of the DPCI. I can be deployed anywhere in the South African Police Service. And that is what I said to the management, that I'm just happy to be here, to be back, and I can be deployed. And then I was deployed at head office as a component head responsible for organized crime.
And then just about a year later, so that was quite quick, you were promoted to the rank of Lieutenant General, the rank you hold now.
Yes.
And you were appointed as the Deputy National Commissioner for Crime Detection. Who appointed you?
The National Commissioner.
And just describe briefly what is the role, function of the Deputy National Commissioner for Crime Detection, and which other sections or divisions fall under you in that role?
Chair, in short, let me start here to say that it was not within a very short space of time. I remember it was a reinstatement since I became a general in 2010. Stretches up until 2023, which is how many years? From 2010 to 2023.
13 years.
I was a general, Major General. That's when I got promoted to. So it's quite a number of years. And my job is as a Deputy National Commissioner, in short, is to provide executive direction on crime detection matters within the SAPS. And my functions include to ensure the strategic direction on the effective investigation of crime on all levels of intelligence service for the South African Police Service. I also ensure the strategic direction with regards to the investigation of crime as set out in the South African Police Service Act 1995, inclusive of the application of forensic science and maintenance of criminal records on all criminal justice systems. I ensure strategic direction with regards to the investigation of crime within the detectives.
So you have oversight over specialized investigative divisions, the forensic services, and all intelligence-led policing initiatives.
That is correct, Chair and members. I had two divisions reporting to me, which is detective forensics and crime intelligence. Under the detective forensics, you will have your components. And the components that you will have your family violence, child protection, and sexual offenses. You will also have component that deals with crime investigation service. You will also have a serious and violent crime investigation. You will have your organized crime investigation. You have your criminal records and crime scene management. You also have forensic science laboratory and quality management, as well as commercial crime. Now, when it comes to crime intelligence, you have intelligence collection services. You also have intelligence analysis and coordination, operational intelligence support, counter and security intelligence. Now, this is the structure that I had when I was leading the as a Deputy National Commissioner. However, there's a new structure that has been approved that changes crime intelligence to report to the National Commissioner, and that separates detective and forensics. In others, you have detectives, Divisional Commissioner, and you also have Forensic Science Laboratory as another division. So you still have two divisions. The two divisions that were clubbed together, detectives and forensic, there now is detectives and there's also forensics. Intelligence reporting to the National Commissioner.
Can I direct your attention to the core bundle, Chair, that's the Honourable Chair, that's the bundle that's not in front of you and Honourable committee members because we're having it printed. That starts at, have you got the core bundle there?
I've got it, Chair.
Page 34. That's where it starts. It's an information note. At the time, it was addressed to the acting national commissioner. I think this was in 2015, 5 November 2015. And at the time, I see the acting national commissioner was J.K. Pashlani. Can I ask you to turn to page 39 and 40? And at the bottom of page 39, this reads, background to the establishment of the post of Deputy National Commissioner. At the time, the Minister of Safety and Security, the scheme established 4 posts of Deputy National Commissioner and required the National Commissioner to appoint the 4 Deputy National Commissioners subject to the directions of the Minister. So in your case, were you appointed by National Commissioner Masemola?
That is correct, Chair.
And that would have been at the time when the Minister was Minister Kele.
That is correct, Chair.
Your appointment, was there any particular process that was followed?
Is the normal process that is being followed in the appointment of all senior managers that are at head office.
You apply?
You don't apply at certain levels. You just get identified, and there is a regulation that is being followed in appointing such senior managers.
So were you, must it be the case that you were identified by the National Commissioner Masemola at the time?
That is correct.
As suited for this job?
That is correct.
And it's with the approval of the Minister at the time, Bheki Cele?
That is correct.
And this is what the document reads. These posts were established to enable the National Commissioner to discharge his responsibilities, exercise his powers, and perform his functions and duties effectively. And then just over the page, maybe I should ask you to read this. It's on page 40. This is your mandate. Have you got it there?
Yes, sure.
If you want to read it.
Yes. The responsibilities, powers, functions, and duties of the National Commissioner that are related to one another and related to the same environment were grouped together in different groups in terms of the scheme. A Deputy National Commissioner was appointed in respect of each environment to discharge the responsibilities, exercise the powers, and perform the functions and duties of the National Commissioner on behalf of the National Commissioner in respect of the specific environment for which he or she was appointed in accordance with the national policing policy determined by the Minister of Police and subject to any direction issued by the Minister of Police and subject to the command and control of the National Commissioner.
So how do you interpret that? And we'll deal a bit in more detail with the Minister's directive.
Paragraph 4 says, Since the relevant Deputy National Commissioner exercises their powers and performs the functions and duties on behalf of the National Commissioner, the National Commissioner is by law deemed to have exercised the powers and performed the functions and duties himself. All members, including divisional commissioners and provincial commissioners, are accordingly bound thereby. So, in terms of delegation number 1 of the document entitled Delegation of Powers and Authorization to Perform Duties, the Deputy National Commissioner, South African Police Service, approved on 19 January 2012 and issued by means of Consolidation Notice 3 of 2012, the powers to perform any legal act for the service or act in any legal capacity on behalf of the service was delegated to a functionary at the level of Deputy National Commissioner. This means that a Deputy National Commissioner may exercise any act that has legal consequences for the service within his or her sphere of responsibility. The National Commissioner may assign certain functions to a Deputy National Commissioner within a sphere of policing possibility of the DNC and finalize the matters. For example, the Deputy National Commissioner of Corporate Service may be assigned to approve certain appointments. So this is the document that gives powers to the appointment of the Deputy National Commissioner, and it specifies the functions of the Deputy National Commissioner, because as was mentioned by the previous witness, General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, he said if the National Commissioner is alone, and for him to be able to run the whole country alone, it will be a much impossible task. So the structure allows for the National Commissioner to appoint some managers that will be able to assist him to run the country. The same applies to in the province. You also have a provincial commissioner who will have deputy provincial commissioners. At head office nationally, you will have the national commissioner, will have deputy national commissioners. Thank you, Chair.
So, in relation to the, let me use the language of the mandate, in relation to the responsibilities and functions in respect of the specific environment for which you were appointed in terms of this policy, and that would be national crime detection, forensic services, and intelligence-led policing initiatives. You had full authority to exercise those powers for and on behalf of the National Commissioner.
That is correct.
Is that your understanding?
Yes.
Although it does say in this subparagraph 6 on page 41 of the core bundle that despite these delegations, the National Commissioner retains the power
that is correct.
To perform functions and duties himself or overturn any decision taken by the relevant Deputy National Commissioner in the exercise of such powers.
That is correct. That is correct.
Now, although 7 goes on to refer to certain powers that may not be delegated, that relates to him being the accounting officer, such as the power to cordon off an area and the power to suspend without remuneration, that you don't have those powers.
That is
but
correct.
All the other powers of the National Commissioner, you may exercise it, provided it falls within your sphere of responsibility.
Yes, for an example, I cannot wake up tomorrow and employ a certain person. It's not within my powers. I cannot wake up tomorrow and establish a unit without having discussed with the National Commissioner. There are things that you can do, there are things that you cannot do that falls within your powers, and you can't accept the powers of the National Commissioner at any given moment. Operationally, you can run the way you can, but there come a point where you need to go sit down with him and say, National Commissioner, I was thinking of doing 1, 2, 3, 4. Will you be comfortable with it? And then he will say yes or no. Once he say no, it's no.
So within your sphere or those 3 spheres of responsibility, where would Brigadier General Khumalo, where would he fit into all of this?
General Khumalo is a divisional commissioner. He's one of the divisional commissioner that reports to me. In other words, as the Deputy National Commissioner responsible for crime detection consists of forensics, criminal detectives and forensics, and crime intelligence. That is now not in the newly approved structure because it was just recently now changed. But all along, since my appointment, it was crime intelligence and detective and forensics. So which means crime intelligence, General Khumalo was reporting to me.
And in relation to Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, the same document, Honorable Chair, Honorable Members, at page 43 deals with the appointment of a provincial commissioner, which of course is the national commissioner with the concurrence of the provincial executive in terms of sections 207(3) of the Constitution. And then the mandate reads as follows: a provincial commissioner reports directly to the national commissioner on all matters and to the relevant deputy national commissioner and divisional commissioner on matters resorting within the sphere of responsibility of the specific deputy national commissioner or divisional commissioner. Now, the question that flows from this is the political killings task team. Did that fall within the sphere of responsibility allocated to you in terms of your appointment as a deputy national commissioner?
It's supposed to, but that was not the case, but it's supposed to.
Oh, okay. Where did the political killings task team resort under? Under whose jurisdiction, under whose sphere of responsibility?
It should be under detectives because we are talking about investigative work. Everybody who's there is investigation or investigators. It's about murder cases that have been committed. They get investigated. And once you're talking investigation, you're talking about crime detection. But in this case, there was a different, so to put it, a very weird arrangement where you find a political killing task team. They will say to you, this is a task team that uses members of the detectives, most of them, that reports to or are project managed by Lieutenant General Khumalo, who is in crime intelligence. And that also reports to the provincial commissioner. Yes, it is acceptable, of course, that because the provincial commissioner is responsible for the province. In other words, the provincial commissioner is responsible for crime and policing in the province. But the reason why I say it was a weird type of arrangement is that you have a task team, but that has got only 4 people or 5 people that should know or that are supposed to know what is going on in the task team. It will be the minister, General Khumalo, project manager, provincial commissioner Mkhwanazi, National Commissioner, and General Lebeya to a certain extent, the former head of the DPCI, because he was mostly not so much active in it. But as far as I'm concerned, if I'm the Deputy National Commissioner that is responsible for detectives in general, intelligence as well, and I've got a top secret clearance certificate, I need to know and understand why can't I be entrusted with knowing what this team is doing? What is it that they are busy with? And what is secretive about what they are doing that I, as a Deputy National Commissioner, am not allowed to know?
So can I ask you this? You were then appointed in July of 23 already. The events that we are discussing in this inquiry relates to what Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi said at the media briefing on the 6th of July. And of course, the focus of that was the political killings task. What did you learn or know about the political killings task team as of July 2023, when you assumed the post of Deputy National Commissioner for Specialized Investigative Division, Forensic Services, and Intelligence-led Policing?
Chair, I just want to get to my bundle. Which paragraph are we, Chair?
Sorry, Jen.
Which paragraph are we at in my statement?
It's I think paragraph 50 will help you.
50.
Yes, forgive me, General, I'm jumping a bit all over the place because I'm trying to keep a particular. You address your involvement and knowledge of the operations of the PKTT on page 18 from paragraph 49 onwards.
Yes, Chair. I was aware of the PKTT that was established to focus on political killings. But I was also aware of the PKTT that were at times assigned on matters that are really not PKTT related. In other words, when the National Commissioner feels that we need such a team at such a point, he will then also deploy it, because they were a multidisciplinary team that has all the relevant expertise within the team. However, I'm of the view that when I look at it, the PKTT as a task team, and that is only and mainly focusing on KZN, it's a cause for concern. Because when you look at the PKTT and the way they were constructed, I can tell you that we have other political killings throughout the country that are not being attended by the PKTT. And I can give you a clear example if we were to go to page 145 of the core bundle. When you look at the key, when you look at,
Sorry, General. Yeah, just Honorable Chair, Honorable Member, just to remind you again, this reference to the core bundle is the bundle you don't have before you. Will be made available. The reference here is General, this is from page 145. This is an information note which is dated, it runs to 148. It's dated the 4th of January 2024.
That is correct.
Sorry? The Honorable Chair, I believe the bundle is available on SharePoint for those who can access SharePoint. Oh, it is now in front of the honorable members. So I'm referring to page 144 of the core bundle. We call it the core bundle. There's two. There's a bundle that's attached to the statement, and then there's another separate bundle, which is a core bundle. That's the bundle we received from General Sibiya's team yesterday. So, General, this document is submitted by you on the 4th of January 2024, and it's called a feedback report multidisciplinary investigation team on municipality killings cases in Mpumalanga from 19 January 23 to 31 March 3, and then there's also a reference to some. So what was the purpose of this document?
Here,
Why did you want us to refer to this document?
here I'm indicating, Chair and members, honorable members, this is a clear indication that these are political matters from a municipality, and they were not dealt with by the PKTT. And you can see that we are talking about your matters that were committed like around about the 2023 cases and 2022. Now I'm looking at, it says on the 19th of January 2023, the National Office established a task team to assist on the matter. The purpose was to assist on the investigation in all political matters at the Mpumalanga province. The task team comprised of 4 members, namely, I'm not going to mention the names of the members, and the docket collected and investigated are as follows. We have Mzinoni case number 09/05/20.
Okay, if we can just go through. It's Mzinoni, Petratif,
or Mzinoni,
just Pinar, Tonga. But your point is that this is a document which shows political killings taking place in Mpumalanga
and other parts of the country.
And other parts of the country. And was this also being investigated in what is referred to as a multidisciplinary way, multidisciplinary investigation team?
Not necessarily as beefed up as the PKTT, because this one you have to extinguish fire somewhere. You have to put a team together that must go deal with the situation.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, Chair.
Now, you would have been perhaps tied up in court, or you may have still been unemployed. Or, no, you would have been employed by the city of Joburg. You were employed in 2016. But you know the background now to the formation of the political killings task team, the first announcement by the president in 2018, and the subsequent establishment of this task team. So that would have been in 2018 already in May, and then fast forward, you are appointed in 2022, and when you come into office, this task team has now been established. Now, you would have attended these, I think they, how many times a year? 4 times a year. The Board of Commissioners meetings.
The Board of Commissioners meetings, yes, I attended.
You would, because even though it's the statute says it's National Commissioner and the Provincial Commissioners. We understand from General Masemola that other deputy National Commissioners also attended that meeting.
Yes, if the National Commissioner is not there, I have chaired 2 of those meetings.
So, so my question is, were political killings task team matters, were they ever discussed at any of these meetings?
No, I don't remember discussing political killings. I don't remember discussing, unless maybe something that slipped my mind. But in those meetings, in the Board of Commissioners meeting, there are a lot of issues that are being discussed there. And it is possible that you will have a topic where such is being discussed, unless maybe something that has slipped my mind.
Or maybe tell us what would typically be on the agenda of these Board of Commissioners meetings?